for the Eagles in 2022, they're looking to reestablish themselves in the NFC East as, well, contenders. And at the same time, trying to figure out whether or not Jalen Hurts, their quarterback, can be the long-term answer at that position. Because, well, for the Eagles, they spent the last couple of years prior dealing with Carson Wentz and then Nick Foles, but then not really having that long-term answer after finding out that Carson Wentz wasn't that answer. So they had a solid year out of Jalen Hurts in year 2 in 2021, and they made the playoffs the season prior, but that didn't exactly go well against Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Bucks. So the last offseason, they made vast improvements on both sides of the ball with big moves like linebacker Hassan Reddick, corner James Bradbury. And then on offense, they made a massive trade for Titans receiver A.J. Brown on draft day. And then back on defense, Saints safety C.J. Gardner-Johnson before the season started. So when you had those moves, especially on defense, for Philadelphia, they were looking to take flight in a wide open NFC. But clearly from their offseason moves, there was literally no excuse for Jalen Hurts to fail anymore, especially when you had an offense loaded with a really strong offensive line and a receiver to go alongside Devontae Smith that's as good in A.J. Brown. There's literally no excuse for Jalen Hurts to fail anymore. And that became the case when the season started. It became clear from the get-go that Hurts really thrived with this new look high-powered offense. Now protected by this rock-solid offensive line, Hurts had all day to throw, throwing to Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. And then he used the strength of the offensive line to use his rushing ability at will. He was like running like Lamar Jackson, but honestly, better protecting himself. And then the rushing attack of Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, and Kenneth Gainwell also benefited from the offensive line. Gabe got plenty of running lanes to attack opposing defenses on the ground, get first downs, get touchdowns, like more touchdowns than the last couple of years. Defensively, even though it's secondary, kind of had some lapses in pass coverage, it was still one of the best in the league in creating turnovers, stopping opposing opportunities, mainly because of the defensive line, which had an absolutely crazy rotation with Hassan Reddick, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, Javon Hargrave, Linval Joseph, and Josh Sweat. Like, that was a freaking crazy rotation of pass rushers. Like, that's like a freaking gold mine right there. And it was freaking relentless at getting towards the quarterback, pressuring them so much. And it became even more of a gold mine when the Eagles traded for Robert Quinn from the Bears. Like, damn, dude. Like, holy hell. Like, you knew the Eagles were trying to go all in for Jalen Hurts this season when they have a defense like that. And Jalen Hurts is playing like that. So the Eagles managed to go 8-0 to start the first half of the season. And yeah, even though they lost to Washington on an upset loss, they still managed to look like an unstoppable team afterwards. But when you get to late in December, they started to suffer some injuries to Jalen Hurts, Lane Johnson at the offensive line, and Avonte Maddox at corner. It began to cripple the team as they lost a very close game to the Dallas Cowboys on Christmas Eve and a winnable game to the Saints on New Year's Day. And when they should have clinched the top seed in both of those games, it put them in danger of losing it with 1 week left to go in the season. But they managed to get Jalen Hurts back for Week 18 against the Giants, who had nothing to play for because they already clinched the playoff spot. They were already in their spot. But, yeah, they still managed to go 14-3, get the top seed that they wanted to get themselves a week to get healthy. And, yeah, when it came to playoff time for Philadelphia, they were back to their full strength, resumed their business, destroyed the Giants in the divisional game to get to the NFC title game. There, they beat up on the 49ers as well. However, Jalen Hurts didn't actually have as good of a game as he did against the Giants. And there's the big asterisk of the 49ers losing both of their quarterbacks to injury. So there were questions about how the Eagles would actually do in the Super Bowl because they did advance, but there are questions about how they would actually do against, well, the much similar team in Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. So in that game, they still had their high-powered offense in that game. They had Jalen Hurts and the offense had a really strong game. And Jalen Hurts was well on his way to winning the Super Bowl MVP. But unfortunately, the defense couldn't find any way to stop Patrick Mahomes, who is still on a bum ankle, and their similar high-powered offense. And for the Eagles, their wings just were clipped a little bit, enough for them to lose that game. And also remember the bad holding call too. So overall, even though the Eagles couldn't finish one of their best seasons with a title and cap it off with a Super Bowl MVP for Jalen Hurts, hey, they definitely enjoyed a major step for Jalen Hurts, taking in what could be potentially their long-term answer at quarterback. But at the same time, though, you have to wonder, was this one of their best chances to get a title, though? Well, I mean, it remains to be seen. So going into this offseason for the Eagles as it's ongoing, that question, it starts to creep up a little bit because of all the things that are happening right now with Philadelphia, all the losses that they're occurring from that talent pool that they had this past season, with the likes of Javon Hargrave going to the 49ers, C.J. Gardner-Johnson going to the Lions, DJ Edwards, that linebacker, going to the Bears, Kaiser White, a linebacker, going to the Cardinals, and even Miles Sanders going to the Panthers. So all those big names that were a big part of the Super Bowl team in 2022 for Philadelphia are gone. Took money elsewhere to go play for other teams. And they tried. They're currently trying to put a hole in it with signings like Rashad Penny from Seattle, corner Grady Williams from the Browns, linebacker Nicholas Moreau from the Chargers. But who knows if it'll be enough. And they did re-sign James Bradbury, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, Jason Kelsey. I mean, we'll see. We'll see if it'll be enough. Some of the things that they still need to address, though, they still have to find another defensive tackle because unless they're willing to find out if their first-round pick in Jordan Davis will pan out, they need to figure out who will fill the void left by both Javon Hargrave and if Linval Joseph doesn't resign, him too. And you have to find another safety to compete with Justin Evans, who they signed. Because while Justin Evans, he could potentially serve as a replacement for C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who I'm still surprised the Eagles didn't even bother to resign. Justin Evans comes in with an injury history that, honestly shouldn't inspire confidence in Philadelphia. So they gotta find someone in the draft to maybe compete with him for the right to start alongside Reed Blankenship, because that, for as good as Philadelphia was in 2022, their secondary was a big weakness in that Super Bowl. So overall, the Eagles took a major step forward in 2022, especially with Jalen Hurts, who proved to be a quality quarterback with his dual threat ability and knew how to protect himself for the most part. Now, it can be easy to say that the Eagles will regress this coming fall due to the heavy loss of talent, and as Cincinnati overcame and experienced firsthand, at least early in the season, the dreaded Super Bowl losers curse, or either or. However, you still have to consider how much weaker the NFC continues to get. So, if you're the Philadelphia Eagles, maybe they shouldn't be written off quite just yet.